Well, I'm waiting for what? I'm waiting to get utilized. You selected me 4th overall. Oh, you want to get utilized? Okay. You have to do one thing for me. Okay? You have to make a really big play when you're given the ball. That's literally what I do. I put you in field goal position to win the game against the Giants. And I had multiple 3rd and 4th down conversions against the Eagles and the Bucks. I had a one-hander. What more do you want me to do? I'll tell you this. I'll utilize you more when this beard actually grows out longer. Think about it, it's kind of a good luck beard, so it kind of is good luck given to you. What's going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. Welcome back to Rise Up Rundown, and if you're new here, welcome. The Atlanta Falcons are finally coming back home to Atlanta with a win, thanks to the New York Giants. We are officially coming back home with a win, and we're trying to keep this little tiny winning streak going against the Washington football team, another NFC East opponent. Can we win this game? How do we win this game? Are we going to keep this little winning streak going? In this video, we're going to go over all of that starting right now. But before we get into all of that, let's go over how these game previews work here on Rise Up Rundown. In the very beginning, we go over a summary to the matchup, which means we describe the story for both teams entering the game. First the opponent and then the Atlanta Falcons. This is obviously to give you a better understanding of each team's motivation and why they're even trying to play/win this game. Then after that, we go over the opponent's biggest strength and what to watch out for that the Atlanta Falcons hopefully will prepare for. And then after that, we go over possible breakouts for the Atlanta Falcons, going over possibly either a unit on the Falcons that's just too good that the opponent's not going to contain that side of the ball and it's going to break out nonetheless, or it's kind of like going over the opponent's weakness and the Falcons could take advantage of that. And then after that, we go over how the Falcons can win the game. So let's go over a summary to the matchup for the Washington football team versus the Atlanta Falcons. For Washington, man, it's been very underwhelming. After going to the playoffs and winning the division last year with probably the most rootable, I don't know if that's a word, rootable. Everyone was rooting for Washington last year because Ron Rivera was fighting cancer, Alex Smith fighting that injury, and he came back on the field to win Comeback Player of the Year. And they were bringing in a big culture. That defense looked awesome. And then entering this year with Alex Smith retiring, they brought in Ryan Fitzpatrick to try and get the offense going. And then the defense still looked like it was going to be good. But unfortunately, things have not really gone to plan. The defense has actually been very underwhelming, and Ryan Fitzpatrick went down with an injury. So they have Taylor Heineke in at quarterback, who's actually pretty good, but we'll talk about him in a second. So Washington really is just trying to get back on track and hopefully just kind of get back into the mix to try and win their division and get back to the playoffs. And for the Atlanta Falcons, they're basically just trying to get the momentum going. That's all they're really trying to do. They just got their first win to the Giants, and they're trying to just give Arthur Smith and all the young guys a little bit of a thumbs up moving forward. I don't expect a playoff team this year, to be honest with you, but just a lot of positivity entering next year. So the Falcons are trying to just build a culture here and just get more wins and maybe a playoff appearance if they get that many wins. I'm not expecting it, but if they get a lot of wins, they're basically just trying to, get this team to get hyped up and feel good about themselves is all I'm trying to say. But with all that being said, let's go over what to watch out for from the Washington football team. Now, I know I went over that this defense has been very underwhelming, but I did put that this defense is still something to watch out for all around. Ron Rivera is very familiar with Matt Ryan, so he's probably got a big game plan here for his team, especially in Atlanta. He's always kind of been to Atlanta a lot, so he maybe knows how to handle the environment there. We'll see. And then, honestly, man, considering how the offensive line has played, this goes back to what I said like in the Falcons and Eagles game, where I was not feeling so confident that Jalen Mayfield and the Falcons offensive line was going to perform well against that Eagles defensive line, and it was a disaster, and I'm kind of expecting the same thing here. Chase Young and the Washington defensive line, I know it's been underwhelming, but against Jalen Mayfield and the Falcons offensive line, I'm not expecting anything pretty here. So this defense all around, it's probably going to do very good. They're familiar with Matt Ryan. This offensive line stinks, and let's kind of be real as it is, the offense for the Falcons has actually kind of been underwhelming as well. So Washington could kind of take advantage of all of that. And then another thing to watch out for, I'm honestly just going to put the whole offense as a whole, because Taylor Heinicke can certainly play. It looks like he's got one of those stronger arms. Like, it seems like every time he throws the ball, it's like kind of like a laser, like a dart. And it's a very accurate throw as well. And I feel like every time he plays, he's always like having some big giant run and he like dives into the end zone. Like, seriously, I feel he does that in every single game, including the playoff game last year against the Bucs. So he's very mobile. And then the Washington football team also has a good running game with Antonio Gibson. I believe Washington has the #1 run block win rate. So in other words, they have a good chance of running against your defense. And then the receivers like Terry McLaurin are something to watch out for. Washington's a very balanced team. And considering how disappointing the Falcons have played, you gotta prepare for this team, man. It might be an NFC East opponent, but this is no sleeper. This team is looking to get revenge here after a very disappointing start. But with all of that being said, what are some possible breakouts for the Atlanta Falcons? One thing I did kind of notice about Washington is I feel like their secondary is pretty weak. So I think the passing game has a pretty good shot of breaking out here. It just hasn't done that so much yet this year, but I think it will in this game. I think they hopefully realized that utilizing Kyle Pitts is actually, a good thing. So hopefully Kyle Pitts can get his first touchdown. For some reason, I just feel it in my gut that he will. I just do. I don't know why, but if they can just utilize Kyle Pitts, get Cordell Patterson going again and Calvin Ridley and whatnot, against the Washington secondary, that's actually kind of been very disappointing. It seems like no matter who they play, like Daniel Jones and Josh Allen, it just kind of seems like no matter who they play, their receivers and quarterbacks kind of have good games. So kind of expecting the same here. I think the passing game could break out if they just freaking utilize their players. And then the second thing that could break out is actually the Falcons' pass rush. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to do with Washington's O-line or anything. It's just kind of because I feel like the Falcons' pass rush has actually kind of been pretty good lately. Grady Jarrett has looked awesome per usual. Dante Fowler is actually out here making some plays. So I don't know, man. This pass rush with home field advantage, everyone knows that home field advantage, if the crowd is super loud, that defense is going to kind of feel that energy, and the pass rush is going to do better because of that. So we are home. We got the home field advantage to help boost up the defense, and that pass rush has actually looked pretty good. So I don't know, just saying. But with all that being said, how can the Falcons win this game? Well, the first thing I think you need to do, it's going to sound a little obvious, I will admit, but cover the field. And I know you guys are like, yeah, no, what do you mean by that? Well, Washington all over on offense is pretty dangerous. You either have Taylor Heinicke throwing darts to Terry McLaurin, or you have Taylor Heinicke running all around the field, or with his running back Antonio Gibson. So I honestly, even though I think the Falcons are always good when they blitz, I wouldn't really do it here in this game. The offensive line for Washington is just a little too good for that. Taylor Heinicke and Antonio Gibson, they're going to be running all over the field, and so is Terry McLaurin. So you got to cover the field. You got to have Grady Jarrett and Dante Fowler bring in that pass rush. And AJ Terrell actually looks like he's coming back. Isaiah Oliver is playing well. So as long as defense does its job, Dean Pease apparently was pretty frustrated at the media, and he looks like he's kind of like ready to kind of turn things around here. So hopefully the defense will kind of understand their assignment and actually cover this Washington offense. And then the second thing, it's so obvious, but I wish Arthur Smith would actually realize it's obvious. Utilize your playmakers. I don't know, it's not like when Kyle Pitts grabs the ball, he puts you in field goal position to win the game, or he catches all these clutch third or fourth down conversions with one hand and gets a big gain or whatnot. But I don't know, it's just a thought. So I would utilize Kyle Pitts and see if maybe he could just get things going. You just never know. And then, of course, Cordell Patterson is getting things going. Just utilize your playmakers. That's all it really is. The secondary has been pretty disappointing for Washington, so as long as the Falcons take advantage of that, it could be good here. Plus, Matt Ryan's pretty familiar with Ron Rivera's defense, so hopefully he's going to come in with some sort of game plan here. and noting that Ron Rivera usually always struggles in Atlanta, so hopefully that happens here. And the Falcons always beat Washington, so hopefully that happens here. It'll be a tough game, but nonetheless, let's try and get this dub. I hope you all enjoyed the video nonetheless. I will see you guys with a video this Tuesday, recapping the game at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. And as always, love and appreciate you all for the support. Rise up.